Hello everyone. Today we will discuss in detail the topic modal auxiliary verbs or modal verbs. In English, modal is a verb that combines one verb with the another verb just to indicate the mood or the tense. A modal also is known as modal auxiliary or modal verb, and it expresses various notions such as necessity, capability, permission, prohibition, uncertainty, etc. Modals are special verbs which behave irregularly in English, and they are different from the normal verbs such as play, visit, work. They give additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. Here is a list of modal verbs such as can, could, may, might, shall, should, need not, must, etc. And the verbs or expressions such as dare, ought to, had better, need not behave like modal auxiliaries to a large extent, and we can add them in the list of modal verbs. Modal verbs are used to express such functions such as ability, obligation, permission, prohibition, lack of necessity, and advice, possibility, probability, etc. So in today's session, we'll discuss in detail about all these notions and functions of modals, and along with that, how can we add use of models in our day-to-day life so that we can express various other feelings, notions, functions that we may do, and in a varied manner. What are the specific techniques of using models in our day-to-day life? These all elements and we'll be discussing in detail in today's session. Modal verbs or modal auxiliary verbs are the helping verbs which express the mood and manner of the action. Today we will discuss in detail about the various notions and functions of modal verbs. Modal verbs are a small group of verbs which are very different from the normal verbs. We can see here that the modal verbs, they also express the action but in a different manner. She can swim, we should go to the doctor. So along with go, we can see there is a word should, and here in this sentence we can see the word can. So these are the modal auxiliary verbs. There is a very small group of these sort of verbs, but they express different notions and functions of the normal verb. If we define, modal verbs are those auxiliary verbs that are helping verbs, and they express the mood and manner of the action indicated by the main verb. They express modes such as ability, possibility, permission, obligation, uncertainty, etc. For example, we can see that one can speak English. This is the capability of the or ability of the person. And in the another sentence, we may see that it might rain in the evening. So might here is giving the notion of possibility. In the next sentence, may I go to watch a movie? So may here is projecting permission, and you must do your duty. So must here is saying that you are the notion of obligation. So various other models portray different notions, and if we use models, it does not change according to the number and person of the subject. So models, whether it is plural noun, whether it is singular noun, they will come as it is same. That means can is same for we, can is same for he also. So we will not put as, neither we will change the tense, and we will keep modals in the same form. For example, we can see that we can play, they can play, and you can play. So in all the cases, the can has not changed. So even she can play and I can play. Unlike I go to college, we will say he goes to college. If in place of I we are using he, then go also changes and we use it as goes. But we will not change the models. We will use it as it is, and they never change in case of number or person of the subject. A model is always used with a verb in the basic form. The model takes the tense while the main verb remains in its dictionary form, as we can see one example so that it may be clear to you all. I can speak, I could speak, I may speak, I might speak. So model can be used alone in response to a question such as can you speak? Then also you can say I can. Will you speak? You can say I will. Will you dance? I will, or I may, such as according to the case you can use. Modals when joined with not to form a negative can be contracted as well. If you talk about the contractions, if you talk about the question tags, in that case you can use modals also. I cannot sing, you can write it like this, I can sing. I do not sing, you can write like I don't sing. I will not sing, I won't sing. So in this case, you can contract these models as well, these modal verbs also. And these are the following modal auxiliary verbs that are shall, the past tense of shall is should, will, past tense would, can, past tense could, and may, might, ought to, used to, need not, dare, and so on. First of all, we shall know about the use of shall. Shall used with first person to give information about future. If we talk about the use of shall in tense, then we may see that it is used with I and we. For example, we can see that I shall finish this topic by tomorrow. That means here we are using shall as per the requirement of the future, simple future tense. Used with second and third person to express the command, create, determination, and promise, such as the first example you can see, you shall leave the class at once. If this is a command, then you can use like this, you shall, otherwise you in place of shall you will use will. She shall study regularly and succeed. If she wish to portray determination. In the next sentence, if you make a noise, you shall be punished. So if you want to threaten, in that case also, you can use shall with you, she, and he shall get a prize if he succeeds. This is a promise you can see. So in interrogative sentences, shall is used with first person just to indicate offer or suggestion with. So these are some specifications you need to practice, you need to learn, you need to know these rules and regulations so that later you may become comfortable in using all these models as per their specific usage and notions. In the third person, you can see, shall I make a cup of coffee for you if we are making interrogative sentence. If you want to offer, then you can say like this. Shall I make if you wish to offer. Which book shall I buy if you ask to suggest. If you wish to get a suggestion, in that case you can use shall. Shall the florist send flowers to your friend? That is do you want it to do so? So if this type of notions you wish to show, you have to use them in this case. If we use should, past tense of shall in indirect speech. For example, you can see I said that I should succeed. To express duty or obligation, for example, we should obey our parents. So we are only expressing the duty and obligation. There is no necessity here once if we are using should. To express conditions also, that should this happen, I will resign. So if this type of thing happens, then you can resign. So you are expressing a condition. In that case, you are using should. So number 2 is this. Number 3 is to express a request. Sometime you can always say that I should like to inform you about my inability to come. That means here you are requesting and even you are projecting that there is a polite request and you use should in that case. For advice, you should not tell a lie. If you are only advising, there is no compulsion, there is no necessity. In that case, you always use should. So for advice, for request, for condition, and for obligation and duty, you use should. Now, if we use will, that is used in second person and third person just to express certainty. For example, you will begin the work tomorrow. And you can note some important specifications that there is a tendency to use will in all person just to indicate future tense, request, etc. Promise, determination, habit and characteristics are also projected. To show future tense in the simple way, you all know that you use my friend will only with I or we you will use shall in the simple present tense. Otherwise, you will use will in any other case. So if you wish to express request, then you use will you have coffee. If you are requesting, then will. To express promise, also you can say, if I ask you that when are you going to submit your projects, then you can say always just to show your promise that I'll definitely submit it by tomorrow. If you wish to show your determination, then also you can say that I will finish this project and presentation. And to show a habit, that she will be taking all the time with no work, that she will be submitting the presentation late. That means this is a habit of a person that the person will never submit it within the given time. To show characteristics, example, this machine will work very well and will not give any trouble. So if you are projecting the characteristics of any specific or specifications of anything, in that case you can use will. Now how can you lay emphasis in case of shall and will? The college will remain closed. It is possible that college will remain closed. This gives the notion like this. The college shall remain closed, then it can be in case of promised, it can in case of order that the college will definitely remain closed. You can see the difference. I shall not help you. I'm not going to help you. That means you're not willing to help anyone. I will not help you. If you are using will along with I, if you are using shall, that means the simple future tense. If you are using will, that means you are saying that you are determined not to help that particular person. So these are the specific uses of will. Now if we talk about would, it is used to indicate past tense of will. For example, he said that he would be back soon. To express wish or desire, you can always say that I would like to ask you something. I would like to go along with you in this vacations. To express future in past also, you use would, such as she asked me if I would help her. So, if in future, if you express the future in past, for example, you can also portray request, would you please shut the door? So in case of request, you can always use would. To show past habit also, you always use would, such as in the past he would go for a long walk. In the previous class, he would always submit the assignment within the given time. To express preference or determination with rather, example, I would rather die than beg. So if you wish to prefer something, or if you wish to show your choice, I would carry out your order at all cost. So this is the preference or determination you can project through would. Next is the use of can. To seek or grant permission, sometime you can always use can. But that can be in the informal conditions. Can I go out? You can go now. So if in case you are at home asking permission, seeking permission from your mama or father, in that case you can always use can. For possibility, accidents can happen anytime. So internet connection may hinder anytime. Also you can say internet connection can hinder anytime. So these are the possibilities, and even to show ability. Sometimes you say that I can lift this box. I can speak English fluently. They can solve this problem easily. So may can also be used instead of can in all these cases, but can is generally used as it is less formal than may. May is used in the formal conditions. If you are in the college, if you are in the school, if you are in the office, if you are in the organization meeting, in that case you will use may. Can indicates a theoretical possibility and may a factual possibility. So this is the difference between can and may. So if you are asking, seeking permission from your friend, that means there is a chance even the person doesn't permit, you may go. So you can say, can I go, mama? Or if you're asking to your boss, you will say that may I go or may I leave this meeting? Or if you're in the class, even then you can say, may I leave this class, ma'am? So this is the difference between can and may. And could is used to indicate past tense of can. He said that he could solve the problem. This is the past tense. Simply in the tenses also we use these models, and just to show this notion of possibility, we use it in this sense, such as this problem could be solved. So if there is a possibility of solving that problem, for permission also, could I use your cell phone in the past tense? You could come to my office anytime. So to express permission, to express polite request, could you wait? So here not only the request, but the polite request. Could you wait for a minute? So for conditional possibility also, you use could, such as if I had money. So here there is a condition which is given, such as if I had the money, I could buy a new house. May generally is used to seek permission in the formal environment. May I come in or may I leave this meeting? To show possibility, the road may be blocked today due to the procession. So you can always use these sort of, if you have used may, that means there is a possibility. You are not writing anywhere that there is a possibility or that the block is, that the road is blocked. Still you are only using may, road may be blocked. That means there is a possibility of the blockage on the road. To show the purpose also you always use may. We eat so that we may live. We study so that we may learn. So they work hard that they may succeed. So these are the specific purposes for which you use may. To express formal wish also, that may God bless you. You generally have been using these sentences. May his soul rest in peace. You always use RIP. That means RIP, rest in peace. May his soul rest in peace. So in case you wish to show formal wish, in that case also you use may. Might is used to indicate past tense of may. For example, he said that he might come. To show this is the simple tense you could have seen here. To show possibility, for example, it might rain. But here there is less possibility, then it may rain. So if there is remote possibility, then you use might. To show the purpose also, he worked hard so that he might win. So in past tense, you have seen that we are using might, or in the present tense, we used may. Now must is used to express obligation or compulsion. For example, you must be back by 9. You must do it. So there is obligation and compulsion. To show determination, you must win the first prize. That means here there is determination that you should win. If you say, then there is only a suggestion. But still, if you say that you must win, then there is a determination. I must finish this topic by today. That means you're determined to finish the topic by today. So in place of must, you always use determination. The word determined, then you will understand the real essence of using modal must. To express strong possibility, there must be some mistake somewhere. So there is a possibility of mistake somewhere. In case you have used here, there must be some mistake somewhere. So although you have used the word must just to express the strong possibility, not the remote possibility. Ought to is generally used to express moral obligation. You ought to serve your parents. That means it is your duty or social obligation or desirability to do. You ought to respect your parents. Nobody is going to put you behind the bars if you are not going to respect your parents. Still, it is your moral duty. It is your social duty. You are obliged to do all these things. So in that case, you can use ought to. The negative form of ought to is ought not to. For example, you can see you ought not to speak to your parents in this manner. So that means it is not expected from you and you should not speak. You can say you ought not to speak. One another model is used to, that means accustomed to. It expresses a routine or a pattern or a habit. If you are in habit of doing something in past, you can always say that used to. She is quite used to hard work. So that means you are accustomed to, you are in habit of doing that thing. You will soon get used to it. Sometime it is said. And it expresses a discontinued habit or a past situation which contrasts with the present. Just see the example. She used to drink milk. Now she drinks tea. So if you wish to express contrast with the present, in that case also you use used to drink milk, but now you are not using, so you haven't used to here. I was used to use this writing desk in the past, but I do not use it now. It is now being used by my younger brother. So you can see these are the specific cases we are using used to. Along with that, used to should not be confused with the finite word use. Verb use. Used to is always used in the past form and it does not have a present tense. So present tense of I used to teach in Delhi is not now I used to teach. So but the simple present tense is now I teach in Kota, but you cannot say I used to, now I used to teach. That means there is no present tense. You can use it in the past tense only. One more auxiliary verb is need, and you use it as a modal auxiliary, and it means to be obliged or be necessary. It is commonly used in negative and interrogative also. Negative and interrogative are followed by infinitives without to. So you can see need can be used with do, did when it is followed by an infinitive with to. Let's see one example so that it becomes more clear to you all. Need I tell him to study? It is necessary for me to tell him to study. He need not go. Now here we are not using to before need not go. Need not to go we are not using. It is necessary for him to go. That means he need not go. Now he should not go. He is not allowed to go. So it is necessary for him not to go there. I hardly need to tell you. You must already know. If you say like this, that means like that you already know it. Is it necessary for her to go soon? So in that case, you will say, does she need to go so soon? If you are using this, that means it is really necessary for her to go so soon. And to express necessity, the students need to study regularly. All of you need to be punctual. The house needs repairs. So if there is a necessity, you use need. Dare is always used as modal auxiliary and it means to be bold enough to. It is commonly used in interrogative or negative sentences. Once if you practice them, you will be aware of their usage. It can also be used with do, did. For example, how dare you fight with me? So you can see you're boldly asking that he does not dare fight with me. So you can also use them with do, did. Does he dare fight with me? So you are not using to here. To express the courage also, don't dare to touch me. Don't dare to touch my book. Don't dare to touch my cupboard. So in that case, if you are warning someone, if you are expressing your courage, in that case you use dare. So now as we have seen these models, let's see them at a. Can is used for ability, permission, request, possibility, skill, cleverness, informal permission. Cannot when you are unable, inability, not possibility, no skill, no cleverness. In that case, you use cannot. Could is used to show ability, polite request, possibility, and past skill. Shall is used to show the command, determination, create, and promise when it is used with second and third person. Order also. Should is used to advise, necessity, duty, suggestion, moral obligation, morality, etc. Will is used to show your intention, determination, create, promise, and once if it is used with first person, request in questions as well. Would, willingness, habitual action in past, and probability. So these are the uses of these models, and some more such as may, wish, purpose, curse, formal permission, possibility, etc. Might is used to show remote possibility, permission with hesitation and concession sometimes. When you wish to have permission with hesitation and even concession also, you use might. Must is used to compulsion, show compulsion, obligation, necessity. Must not, prohibition, forbade, not essential. In that case, you use must. And need is used to show necessity. Used with negative and interrogative sentences specifically, and dare to show courage, and it is also used same with negative and interrogative sentences. Ought to covers all the points of must and should. So whatever you have seen in must and should, you can see that can be covered through ought to. It shows moral obligation as well. Used to always reject past habits. So in this way, we can see that these are all the specific uses of models. In the upcoming session, we will discuss in detail some more specific purposes of using models.